Previously on the Blood-Soaked Rose.
You can feel the tension mount day on day on day.
Do you think that you are capable of doing this task on your own?
I would not be in the trade of buying and selling if I could not sell.
You're so opposed. You do everything you say. Just roll a perception. Roll
Doesn't matter, as long as he generally agrees with my plan of action.
We're all hiding.
Get money, have sex, kill evil mage.
Hopefully I'm not the evil mage.
I've just come to claim this bounty.
I have already paid the bounty to him. I can't pay it twice.
No, not for you to pay it twice. Just to pay it once in full. Bryok will leave. Now the fucking Witcher.
And he is this close to finishing what he started. Cast a ritual known as Hydromancy.
Crypt somewhere below the city. She looks over her shoulder, cock her finger in a come hither.
And Aurelius smiles and puts his hand through the water.
Daylight is fading on the day after Eve's demise, and Aurelius has just completed his ritual, the ritual of hydromancy. He peered into the bowl and saw a vision of Rosine somewhere in the crypts below the city. Rosine also looked back through the water at Aurelius and beckoned him hither. Meanwhile, negotiations were made between Bryok and Bertrand, the coroner, for additional bounty for the rather dangerous and valuable head of the catacomb. He's agreed to at least asking for 400 more crowns that he'll let you know about tomorrow. As you arrive back at the warehouse, where your horses are stabled and your cart is stored. The warehouse, yes. On a full moon, turns into a house. Your colleague, Aurelius, is just dashing water from a bowl.
Bryok will enter. Hello, my friend. I've managed to negotiate a different deal with the coroner.
Well, hopefully we can survive till the morning to see it through.
I can't wait.
All right, Bryok, what is it that you had in mind for this evening?
Well, a warm meal, a nice bed, some pleasant company, and then either we meet with the other elves and take their kind of route in. We go find where Vali is and meet him and then follow on, or we can just be done with the whole thing.
Sounds like a...
Unless you have leads.
We'll see how the night goes. But for now, a warm meal and a warm bed does sound like a good change of pace. Did you have anywhere in mind?
The hairy bear is cheap.
So be it. And with he'll go over, grab his he tips the last of the bowl into the nearby dirty sink, and he'll go up to his pouch. He'll clasp it back up, hitch it to his belt. With a flourish, pops his coat back on, and he's donned completely. The amulet around his neck, the dagger, the rondelle in its sheath. He goes over to the 500 crowns that was in the bag with the inventory items that were there, and he opens it with one hand, counts out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and goes over to where Eve's armor was, and he places the 5 crowns down beside it and just says, I may be a beast, but I'm not a monster. It's 5 crowns owed and paid. And walks out the room.
Bryok will go into his inventory, grab 2 bottles of wine, and follow.
Any particular wine?
It's the middle of winter, so I presume I would have packed reds.
Yeah, some
heavy
Toussaint red or
some heavy reds.
Beauclair or
Beauclair.
Yeah, lovely.
and we'll head to the hairy bear.
Yeah. Dressed warmly
Against
to keep the snow.
the biting cold of the night. The snows are getting heavier and more consistent. They dampen the sound through the city. But even so, the odd fell cry is carried around alleyways. There's a growing edge to the atmosphere of the city as those inside grow more desperate, and a sense of unease and unrest spreads, especially through the temple quarter. And that carries over to the atmosphere of the hairy bears. Warm as it is, as lively and full of life as it is, there's a kind of wanton, desperate energy to the merrymaking there. A party at the end of the world, if you will. But all sorts of delights and diversions are on offer here, whether it's plying yourself with alcohol, the attention of a man or woman of the night, dice to be played, cards, fist fight to be bet on or taken part in. Whichever revelries take your fancy, you can partake in.
At least to begin with, I feel like a good hearty meal between the two would be very much in order. Not sure what the hairy bear offers.
Probably like salted meats and maybe some like warm salted meats and like what do you call it? Like a pickled cabbage, like sauerkraut or something equivalent.
Some biscuit or something, some hard biscuit, hard tack, that sort of thing, all kind of chucked together. And you know, the prices are starting to climb up as the stocks dwindle.
That's
but
fine.
Still food.
We pay it.
Yeah.
I've got the cash for it.
Well, it's double normal price for whatever meal you're looking at. If you want to keep track of that, you are 500 crowns richer, but
I'm not spending that money.
money will go. It's looking up services.
Services paid, services tendered.
Cool. What are we looking for? A simple meal or a good meal, Sean?
Let's go for a good meal.
All right.
We're at the end of the world, my friend.
If
Friend.
they're double?
Double price.
Fuck me.
How
Sorry.
much are they going for? Usually.
30? Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
60 each.
Let's have a good...
It's like nearly the price of a good sword.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. I would like to.
You can negotiate it down if
Yeah,
you
I'm going
want.
to try and negotiate it down.
Yeah.
My friend.
That's just the starting. That's the starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is I don't want to I don't want to pay for a good meal and then be done with the night. It's nice just getting started.
That's right.
Game is afoot.
Yeah, I'm going to try and use business.
Business.
24.
Yeah. So it's cost and a half, not double.
Cool. So 45 each.
Yeah.
Great.
Great.
I don't think you've rolled under 20 for any business roll you've ever done.
Yeah,
You've
I've
never
been,
failed.
I've been rolling 6s or 7s, 8s
Yes.
for a lot of this game. It's been great.
Smart cookie.
I'll also trade off some of my wine
Okay. Yeah.
to the owner to at a good price. I know alcohol is going to be in more need,
Yes.
Trade the alcohol.
so maybe they're 8 usually, 8 crowns each.
You want to sell them for?
Let's say 12 each.
Yeah. You can give that a go.
50% markup. Yep, 24 again.
Yes.
Same roll.
Yes. And I rolled a 2 the last time and a 4 this time. So
Bloody hell.
your acumen is much better than the that of the
you persuade
the hairy
Mrs.
bear
Mrs.
owner.
Bear.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bear. Yes, she's very very keen to have such lovely Beauclair off your hand.
So both of them.
Yeah, she'll
great.
buy both of them.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So that's an extra 24 to my pocket,
Lovely. Keeping yourself afloat bit by bit.
and I will let 45 of my savings go for a nice meal.
Well, it certainly bolsters you after a difficult day or two to thoroughly eat, and not just trail rations, but a warmed meal in a warm place, surrounded by laughter or the wet slap of open-handed punches in the fighting pit.
I feel like there's a quiet understanding of the the night before something big or the night of something big, right? And
Yeah,
between two people that realize the stakes and the heightened situation they're in, and that this may be the last.
I imagine both of us sitting on a wooden wooden chairs and a wooden table in a dingy kind of bar with people who are looking to be rowdy, and us just taking in the sights, taking in the energy, and very early on in our nights, fueling up, feeding ourselves, looking across from each other.
Yeah.
With a camaraderie that's wary, maybe not friendship.
Yeah, it's tense camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's a shared understanding. We're breaking bread, but we're not.
And the tension.
We're not cheering. We're not.
That's right.
Clinking glasses.
Not yet. And the tension is probably not just about our strange relationship and the secrets that we've held from each other, but also what we're about to do.
Yes.
Try and kill a mage.
Also, the material circumstances of being trapped in a besieged city in the middle of winter that feels as if it's on a knife edge.
And it's a good way to. It's a good form of escapism as well, right? It's a good way to holster yourself away and think of other things, if not for a brief hour or so.
So you get some drinks in as well. Any other delights or gambling or whoring that you wish to do?
I think Aurelius will take up the opportunity to go to bed with a gentleman.
Yes.
And we'll jump across the road. What was the name of the
eager thigh?
The eager thighs.
The eager thighs. And we'll partake in other delights, which is something that is he does not get the opportunity to often.
He's a bit too serious much of the time.
Yes.
Yes. Too focused.
So I feel like that might be a part where we separate, depending on where Bryok goes during that time period.
Bryok stays in the inn. I imagine he is very happy to see his friend excuse himself. I presume that's what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and will, in the tavern, listen and watch to other people's material concerns. These are not things that he's been around enough of. He's been spending time with a mage and a witcher for the better part of a couple of years. So the needs and wants of people in crisis, they're a bit unfamiliar.
People are wary that, or leery that there may not be supplies in the town to hold out all winter. Mm-hmm. It already feels quite desperate among some of the refugees and people. And if that situation gets worse, what might they do? And then there's also the whispering paranoia of people aware of Nilfgaard's reputation, its tactics. What if they sow disease in the town? What if they usurp the garrison? What if there are Nilfgaardian spies all among the refugees in the town and they're just waiting to strike? People have loud opinions one way or the other, whether someone is just being too afraid of their own shadow, or whether they are astute in their call. I think you've got the right of it. Yeah, they're underhanded, those black ones. They'll do anything to avoid a fair fight. Not like good Temerians. If we make it till spring, we'll give them hell over the walls. I tell you, we won't surrender Vizima without a fight. But others, quietly despairing of like, I don't. What are we going to do in a week's time? We've got some things, but the children have to eat. And I guess I'm going to have to go without. That's the most important thing, is that they make it through. And, I hope it doesn't come to a siege. I hope the Dukes surrender, because if the Black Ones come in and we give them hell on their way in, they could run rampant. Have you heard of the towns they sacked on the way up? It becomes chaos. People just drowned in wells in the street. There's lots of competing fears. Some bravado and bluster, and others have a creeping, gnawing anxiety. And still others are happy to completely blow off talk of the future, to roar about cheating in their dice game, or who that they could take in a fight, or whose whore is best, whose favorite is has the best technique with their tongue, or can put on the best show before you get down to business. And the virtue of the preamble versus getting right down to business. So there's a bit of everything. But are you aiming to be inconspicuous here?
Not terribly. I think I'm already known to bar staff by selling and negotiating prices.
Well, the staff are happy for you to be here because your coin is good.
Yeah.
But you do draw dirty looks.
I
people.
figured, yeah.
But as long as you don't engage with anyone,
No.
you're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You feel the weight of it always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bryok only needs to look outside to know that there are his brothers and sisters dying in the cold.
Freezing, dying.
More than the humans, more than anyone else. They're going to be the ones who die first. And he's lucky to be here. So he's going to keep to himself.
Fair enough.
And there's no talk. There's no mercy or empathy for the elves in this room, is there?
No. Not really.
Yeah.
If anyone holds that in their heart,
They don't mention it.
they're not going to make a stand
No, of
on it
course not.
here.
No.
amongst others. So
Just curious.
this is the hairy bear. You're not going to find progressive-minded folks.
No.
in
I just
here.
wanted to know where we all stand.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we stand over here, and you non-humans over there. Thank you.
You don't find Aurelius standing. You find him sitting at the edge of a bed. He is naked. And he's a moment where he's somewhat softened. A bit of the pursed lips, the narrowed eyes, the carefully, meticulously slicked back hair is somewhat relaxed as he stares forward, looking at the front door. And it's been a good time of relief, of releasing oneself to the moment. And he allows himself to just sit there for a minute. And he finally, without turning round, I'm sorry, I never asked for your name.
Oh,
I know I do this every time.
my name's not important, darling.
Could you humor me?
Call me Flavio.
Flavio, humor me again. What is something that you would consider your drive, your passion? Something that fuels you?
And he sits up in the bed and draws the sheet up around his chest a little bit against the cold. I'm not sure what you're getting at. If you're looking for particular passions and drives, you might have to drop a few extra crowns.
I'm just looking for honest talk from one person to the next.
Don't know that I have a particular passion. The works here is good enough, and I get on well enough with the people around me. That's good enough for me. There's nothing but unhappiness in having great ambitions for yourself. I'll tell you that much.
And he allows himself a rueful smile. I tend to agree. Flavio, I have spent the majority of my life, what was it? 30 years, with a singular focus, one drive that has fueled my existence. And this night, right now, I find myself on the precipice of being on the other side of that road, of one way or another, completing my passion. And I don't know what happens after that. Don't get me wrong, the idea of living, of life, of course I want that. Of course I need that, but I just don't know. So for tonight, for right now, I have to thank you, because you have allowed me something that I have not experienced in 30 years, which is a moment to slow down. And now, once I leave through that door, I will forget these four walls. I will forget this bed. I will forget you. And I will have to be Aurelius Tarnair. And I'm so very tired.
Sounds very dramatic. You sure you don't want to just close your eyes here with me for a while?
I do. And he continues to start getting ready.
Suit yourself.
Puts on his gambeson, places his amulet around his neck with another flourish, pops his robe over the top, takes a moment to look at Flavio. And if you do happen to skirt away from ambition for the rest of your life, consider that lucky.
Luck's for fools and beggars.
On that we agree. And he leaves the door. Heads back to where he presumes his friend Bryok is, across the hairy bear.
Whoa, the
Ooh.
F word. Hang on. Friend.
Yes, I use that with weight.
Yeah. He's softened.
Yes.
A moment of change.
Yeah, he comes back a little bit ameliorated. You can sense that it was good. It was a good cathartic experience. I'm not going to even have you roll. You can tell.
Yeah, he definitely does don back. Like it was a moment in there, and he then puts back on Aurelius.
Yeah.
He knows you well enough, though. You
yeah.
can see the edge taken off.
And he'll come back to the table if you are there, Bryok, still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bryok's still there.
And he sidles into the chair. I know where Rosine is. I have seen it. Bryok, you said you know this town well enough? Better than myself, at least?
Yes, sir.
There's no need for sirs.
Well, then, yes.
He comes in closer. She is close. She is down below us. She has literally been underneath us this entire time. Rosine is in the crypts.
In the crypts, sir. Well, shall we?
We must.
Let's head back, grab everything we'll ever need, and then head down. Now, the crypts are quite large, so we'll need quite a few things.
Aurelius has most that he needs. So he donned himself before coming on. So yeah, we can grab whatever Bryok requires.
Yes.
It's going to be dark down there.
Yeah.
And obviously, yes, you want to have whatever you think you might need.
Yep.
For a conflict.
Yep.
So just make sure you have what you have. You can take off your booze and your whoring costs. Although I feel like the material circumstances you're in are going to become secondary fairly soon.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, depends what happens. Depends how you approach this next few hours.
And Aurelius, he obviously doesn't have much in terms of his own personal effects. While he has the collar within his coat, he doesn't have it on. He's going to be at full strength for whatever does lie ahead. He has his armor, he has his helmet tucked underneath his arm. And that's kind of most of his personal effects.
We can make some sort of deduction or some sort of education roll to know about the Undercity, if you will. The passages and pathways might be under here.
That is a 16 for Aurelius.
What was the roll, pardon?
Education
You
or
can
deduction?
education or a deduction roll.
12.
The Temple Quarter is going to be a good place to start looking for a place where you religiously intern your dead below the earth.
Yeah.
and St. Lebioda's, the hospital, is a church that is now a hospital, and nearby are the cloisters that once held the Order of the Flaming Rose. You are bound to find a way into the crypts around there.
Roll to Cast The Blood-Soaked Rose is a Baby Beard Media production. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. All our podcasts are on Spreaker, Spotify, YouTube, and all good podcatchers. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/babybeard. The Witcher tabletop role-playing game is property of our Talsorian Games. Used with permission.
There we go. I'm ready to
Converse.
converse with the two of you.